Since it was announced that there's going to be a remake of American Psycho, there's been a lot of speculation as to who's going to play the lead character of Patrick Bateman, a role that Christian Bale made famous in the 2000 movie. Now, initially, it was being reported that Austin Butler was going to take on the lead role. Then later, we heard that it was going to be Patrick Schwarzenegger, or he at least expressed interest in playing the character. But now it seems as if they're going to be taking the movie in a different direction because right now, according to the latest rumors, Margot Robbie is going to be cast in the lead role in a gender-swapped version of the character. Now, I personally have my doubts that she's actually going to be cast as a gender-swapped Patrick Bateman, or that's the direction they're taking the movie. But given how Hollywood has been behaving in recent years, I wouldn't necessarily put this past them. So before we discuss it, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you can, leave a comment, hit the like button too, because it helps me out with the channel. Margot Robbie rumored to be gender swapped in remake of controversial horror classic. This is coming from Comic Book Resources. As reported by The Sun, an unnamed insider close to the project claimed that a remake of American Psycho is in the works and Margot Robbie is in the frame to play a female version of Patrick Bateman. So I guess Patricia Bateman or something like that, Patty Bateman. The source added Bret Easton Ellis novel and the film were so controversial and people working on the remake wanted to twist the narrative by having a female actress take on the lead of Bateman. So that's where a lot of this rumor is coming from. It says here just an unnamed insider close to the project. Whatever that means, the Sun doesn't necessarily have a good track record on breaking this sort of stuff, but I could believe that perhaps Margot Robbie's name was brought up as someone potentially working on this movie or being cast in this movie because there's a number of female characters within this American Psycho. So maybe it was brought up like, oh, Margot Robbie's going to star in American Psycho, and someone took that to mean like, oh, she's going to be cast as Patrick Bateman. They're doing a gender swapped version of it, or they're just kind of running with that idea because that's a rumor that gets more headlines as opposed to she's going to be cast as just, I don't know, one of the prostitutes or whatever that he kills. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I could believe that Margot Robbie is going to be cast in the movie. I just don't necessarily think they're going to do a gender swapped version of it, even though that's something that Hollywood would probably lean on. There was a huge backlash about misogyny when the novel came out back in the 90s, and by having a female killer, it puts a different spin on crimes. Well, I mean, yeah, it's misogynist if you don't actually understand either the novel or the movie. I mean, because the misogynistic behavior is always treated as a negative, but that is still something that's not acceptable in Hollywood. I mean, just take a look at Tropic Thunder. A lot of people say that's a movie that they couldn't make nowadays. I think even Robert Downey Jr. said that that's a movie that they couldn't make nowadays, and that's not even that old. I mean, when did that come out? 2008. And a lot of people would be like, oh, because of the blackface, you can't do that now. But it's like, yeah, but the blackface was obviously it was played for laughs. But I mean, it was played to mock people who would do that sort of thing, who would go to extreme lengths in order to play a type of character or whatever. So it wasn't like that behavior was glorified. I mean, it was kind of condemned in the movie, but still, like they say, like, oh, because of that, you couldn't make that movie nowadays. So the misogynistic behavior by a lot of the men within American Psycho, it's like, yeah, that's something that Hollywood wouldn't want to necessarily get behind these days, even if it is played as a negative character trait. But misandry, on the other hand, that's something that's still very much not only acceptable in movies, but just kind of acceptable within culture surrounding Hollywood. So if they did have a gender swapped Patrick Bateman character and she was misandristic or misandrist, then that's something that I think they would be allowed to do, that sort of thing. So you could kind of still keep in character with it, but still doing something different. It's a way for them to have their cake and eat it too. Let's just put it at that. Margot's career is on fire at the moment. Taking on a role this gritty will really show what a sensational actress he is. The source went on to note that the finer details are still being ironed out, but everyone that is involved in the process so far have said they are so excited to get it announced and start work. Now, I mean, that's not really saying a whole lot. I mean, you could pretty much expect as much people that are supposed to be working on a movie are wanting to get the work on the movie. And like I said, maybe Margot Robbie's name was brought up as someone who's going to be cast in the movie, just not necessarily as the lead role. And that's just kind of what the rumors are going off of. But one thing when I heard about this, it just kind of reminded me of this ad that came out, when is it? 9 years ago at this point. Just take a look.
There is an idea of Margot Robbie, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity.
Okay, so I mean, you get the idea. Obviously, this ad was supposed to be kind of like a tongue-in-cheek version of American Psycho. Go watch the whole thing because this is actually kind of funny. Basically, her going through her whole morning routine or whatever, and it's just kind of like promoting the product. So yeah, just kind of a decent ad. If even though I'm not necessarily the target audience for that, I thought it was still kind of funny. But maybe someone saw that and they're like, oh well, she would actually be perfect as a gender swap version of it. Maybe that ad right there is where these rumors are ultimately stemming from. I don't know. I mean, it's just all speculation at this time. It does say further down in the article, Challengers director Luco Guadagnino, I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm butchering that, is currently working on a remake of the 2000 hit. So far, no lead has been confirmed, male or woman. However, the Margot Robbie rumor might be just that, as the previous actor tied to the role included Patrick Schwarzenegger, who admitted he'd love to play the role, and Austin Butler. However, none of them were confirmed to play Patrick Bateman, and the director had teased a full reimagining of the source material. So if he wanted to do a reimagining of the source material, I think a gender swapped version of it would be doing just that. But there's a lot of other ways that you could reimagine the source material. I mean, if they just changed the setting so it's no longer set in the 80s, but set in more contemporary times, I mean, that would be a reimagining of it. But I think you could still do the movie without having the setting. I mean, I know a lot of people would probably say that that's, I mean, you couldn't, that's not possible or whatever. You need to keep the setting, but I think you can largely maintain a lot of the themes of American Psycho and by changing the setting. And maybe that's what they're going after, or maybe this is what they're doing. There's gonna, if they tried to set it in the 80s and have Margot Robbie play the same version of the character, I don't think it would work that way. But if you, I don't know, maybe made it in the contemporary setting, then you put her in a lead role as like some businesswoman, then I don't know, perhaps they can make it work. But I think you would have to be asking a lot for that to happen. And I think we've seen in Hollywood over recent years that they're going to shy away from doing this sort of stuff, at least to a point, that not be so egregious and like their gender swapped and other things like that, because, well, at least they should be more cautious about that sort of thing, because we see whenever they try to do that, a lot of the projects ultimately fail. So maybe they've learned their lesson, and this probably wouldn't be the smart move on their part. But Hollywood isn't necessarily the smartest out there. So I guess we'll just ultimately have to wait and see whether or not these rumors turn out to be true. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think they're going to do a gender swapped American Psycho starring Margot Robbie, maybe some other actress? Or do you think they're just going to do kind of a regular one with a male lead, have Margot Robbie play some other character in it? Or maybe she's not even going to be in the movie whatsoever. Comment below, tell me what you think about this. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to hit the like button and share the video out there, because it helps out with the channel. Thank you.